Thank you. Thank you for coming out, yeah? Very kind. Very, very kind, yeah? It's a Friday, so there's always countless other things you can be doing. Really appreciate you taking time to be here, sort of spending some time in the arts and supporting your community bookstore. I mean, I can't imagine anything more important and certainly more precious than that. So, thank you. I wanted to thank all the folks who made this possible. You guys know the deal. It bears repetition. Artists appear somewhere, and it's always made possible by a group of people who do this sort of necessary, invisible work, never get any recognition, never get any applause, and yet all of us are the beneficiaries of that kind of work, yeah? And I wanted to thank them for making this happen, and again, for y'all for coming out. It's always good to see readers, you know? It's true. I think probably the thing I love most about any of these kinds of events is I get to meet my crazy little tribe, you know, which are readers. Yeah? I'm like the biggest traitorous writer I know, in the sense that most of my writers' friends, they place writing at the top of their identity. Yeah? Writing is the thing that defines them, and writing doesn't even come into my top 5. But I don't mean that as some sort of diss or some sort of false humility. It's just very much true. I think if I have an identity of 10 spaces, the first 5 are filled with being a reader without question. And I've always thought that my commitment to writing was just a way to keep me in books, to keep me doing the thing that I love most, which is reading. I mean, it's kind of a wonderful way to stay reading. Yeah? And so, probably part of the reason that I, as a writer, work so incredibly slow, because I just sort of, I always kind of have to read 100 books to write one short story. And that would be an exaggeration, except it ain't. You know? For real. So, thank you guys. Yeah? I thought we would do this a little bit different. We know how these things usually work. First, is there anybody here who's a first-time person to come to a book reading? Oh yeah? Guys, what's up, man? You guys seem very, very young.
I read a lot of books, but
Okay. It's cool. Welcome, man.
I love you so much.
Darling, thank you. Yeah. Oh, the words I never heard in my family. You know? Yeah. I was somebody provoked a memory about my crazy family the other day, and you know, everybody's got their crazy family stories, but I don't know how many of you grew up with old world parents. You know, yeah. Do you know, like, old world parents who seem to think a compliment of any kind would somehow damn you, or would, like, for them to say an encouraging word would produce inside of you like some form of, you know, cancer. Yeah? So one of the things that happened was the other day, I realized the closest my mother ever came to giving me a compliment occurred a year or two ago, where my mother said to somebody, and again, she doesn't speak a word of English, she's like Mitt Romney's nightmare, you know? She's like, oh shit, these Latinos, they just want to come and make us all speak Spanish, you know? So my mother is like that Republican hobgoblin, you know? And so she's speaking Spanish, and she said to somebody, and I was like overhearing it, and my mother's like, my son, he only looks stupid. I'm like, yeah, which is, but if you think about it, for my mother's generation, that does qualify as an enormous compliment. Like, I hate to say it, after the wound, I felt like a sense of my mother still actually likes me, you know, which is not a bad thing. So let's take it from the top. We'll do this reverse, yeah? We'll take a question or two, then I will read to you, then we'll take a question or two, and then we'll go smoke them, yeah? We will go smoke them. What do you guys think we're talking about?
It's the same area.
We're about to lock people up front for a reason.
Oh, the folks is here. Alright, so then we might as well do this before I ask the question. How many people here from New Jersey? Anybody? I grew up in New Jersey, so that's where I immigrated to. It's like the most despised state, so I kind of love it. How about, how many people here from the Caribbean? Anybody? 2? And they didn't make noise. Anybody here from the Dominican Republic?
No.
Wait a minute. That's a double place. That's awesome. Un placer. Super encantado. All right. Immigrants? Anybody? Less noise. Okay. Oh, yes. What's up, gang? All right, so let's take some questions. Now I know, like, when the zombie apocalypse comes, who will not attack me? You know?